The first episode of Neon Genesis Evangelion was aired on October 4th, 1995. That is about 27 years ago at time of recording. Ever since, Anno's stories, characters, and myth has impacted many lives for better or worse. Many of today's young animators, manga artists, and authors grew up with these stories, and even if they do not write or do psychological dramas as Evangelion is, they tend to put some kind of tribute into their work as reference to a show that somehow shaped their careers. Sometime in a while you stumble with some of these references. Sometimes they are subtle, others are all over your face, to the point that pulls you out of the story. And that is exactly what this video is going to be about. I'm going to present in the following minutes 5 times that an Evangelion reference pulled me out from a random anime story. This is not a top 5 because that would be very ambiguous, but more like the ones I remember the most. I also not counting cameos because cameos are not references, are cameos. Nor anime that recently has gone viral because that wouldn't be random. Ready? Let's begin! Watamote Go, an anime adaptation in 2013, and tells the story of Tomoko, an introvert girl with social anxiety issues, who wants to become popular, but her awkwardness and imagination, product of thousands of hours playing video games, prevents her to achieve her goal. This presentation is a slice-of-life comedy with hilarious situations sparkled with dark and light tones, representing the psyche of the main characters, even if in real life these events are just normal, but unusual to her. Other than having a great OP, Watamote, although a fun ride through its 12 episodes and OVA, it is a forgettable story. What won't be forgettable though, for an EVA fan, will be the beginning of episode 9. In this episode, Tomoko's summer break is about to end, while looking forward to go to the movies with her only friend, Yu. In the sequence, we get a close look to Tomoki's phone wallpaper inspired by the Zelda monoliths, more precisely, the revealed version, with the apple in the middle of the logo. This particular episode was aired 1 year after You Cannot Redo, or simply Reveal Q. Q is arguably the most controversial of the 4 revealed movies, as 4 presents a breakpoint between the more familiar original story and the new one. This movie's main focus is the relationship between Kaoru and Shinji. It presents a time jump and is also the shortest of the 4. Not to mention the last Evangelion movie before a 9-year gap for the direct follow-up and conclusion of the story, 2021's Thrice Upon a Time. It is also the last time we see Cele in the story. I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying is a 2014 collection of short stories that depicts the married life of Hajime, an otaku blogger, and his wife, a regular office woman, in a comedic fashion. Throughout the short 3 minutes long gags, we are taken into anecdotes from real life. The viewer may find any of these stories relatable, especially if such viewer is or has been in a long-term relationship or in a marriage. In episode 10, we encounter a couple in a discussion in which any couple seeking to have kids are eventually involved, and that is choosing their unborn child's name. Out of the blue, Hajime does this, provoking his wife's outrage. It is widely known within the fanbase that was Gendo who chose Shinji and Rei's name in both Neon Genesis Evangelion reveal, and worked to tease a first-time viewer that Rei's mysterious background could be more complex than it seemed, as it actually turned out to be. What is even funnier is that Hajime's wife's name is Kaoru, and we get a quick cut of her sitting on top of an angel-like rock looking at the sunset, similar to Kaoru's iconic introduction in episode 24. Born Up W, more than a comedy, is your classic mid-90s futuristic action-packed ecchi anime, featuring a group of voluptuous women and full of fan service produced by the brilliant Matt Greenfield. W is a 4-part OVA that was released before the more family-friendly 12-episode excess of the same Born Up franchise. We mostly follow the adventure of the blonde bombshell Ryo, an agent member of Team Warrior, a special counter-terrorist force of the police filled with highly skilled women. Throughout the story, Ryo and her teammates are tasked with a wide variety of risky missions. The first episode of this presentation was released just 2 weeks after original TV episode 26 of Neon Genesis Evangelion was aired. Anno's work was already a cultural sensation in Japan, and many people was still shocked by it. In the second part of this OVA, a popular virtual idol is downloaded to an Android willingly. Her disappearance from cyberspace was widely known and her fans demanded for her rescue, as it was believed to be kidnapped. Maki, who is the boss of the team as Naval, the techie of the bunch, for support on looking the kidnapped idol. She presents her with her latest work, a giant robot which is strikingly similar to Shinji's mom, and orders its immediate deployment. In its activation when trying to save the now android idol from a killer, Shinji's mom did what she does best, went berserk, destroying a bridge and falling over the beloved virtual sensation. In the aftermath, we get to see Maki asking for an increase of budget in an environment similar to that of Gendo's office, glasses included, and we are revealed that the idol was transferred to the robot after her previous body was destroyed by it, and now she has to wait for a new one. Calling Nisekoi a random anime is highly inaccurate, as for it is one of the best romantic comedies of recent times, with a ton of memorable moments, fun characters, and a strong fanbase. In it, we follow the story of Raku, the heir of a Yakuza family, who has to fake a romantic relationship with Shitoge, the tsundere daughter of the rival family boss, thus preventing a major war. The problem is that neither of them stand one another. Furthermore, Raku is crazy in love with another classmate, the innocent sweet Kosaki. It also features a pendant and a promise, but I will not get deeper into those details as for this is not the purpose of this video. The 2014 anime adaptation has a sequel that was released the following year and has a couple of OVAs. Sadly, the popular story never got to an anime conclusion, even if the manga got to an end in 2016. I myself was obsessed with the story back in the day and read the manga till the end, hoping that someday such a great ending will get an adaptation. Episode 15 is one of the most iconic episodes of the show. The three main characters are already deep into their developments, and new conflicts arrive when Mari takes Raku to meet her father. The elevator has no logic reason whatsoever to be similar to that ones of Nerf. Even if you haven't seen Evangelion in years, you know that there's a unique look and feeling to it. Many of the most iconic Evangelion sequences took place in the elevators. From Misato and Kaji's affairs, to Asuka and Rei's discussions, to Shinji crying Misato's death in the end of Evangelion. The elevators at NERV were used for many purposes, one of the main ones to create anxiety of being trapped in a closed small place. What is mind-blowing is that once we get to Mari's place, we are greeted by her father, who has a very familiar voice, that one of Fumihiko Tachiki, in other words, Gendo Ikari. The reference so iconic that while discussing, he gave us the unmistakable Gendo pose. Agana is a popular 2011 slice-of-life harem comedy with strong ecchi elements. By itself got pretty decent reviews, as it was an adaptation for a popular light novel. We follow the story of Kodaka, a transfer student that is quickly labeled as a rebel or delinquent by his menacing eyes and blonde hair, for it believed to be dyed, although it is natural because Kodaka is son of a British woman. Tired of being labeled and ignored, founds a club together with his introvert classmate Yosora, called the Neighbor Club, whose only goal is to find a way to make friends. Eventually, Sena, who seems to be a popular girl, signs up, as for she is also an introvert and feels she has no real friends. In truth, all three of them are your classic tsundere type. Episode 4 introduces two new characters, one of them a scientific prodigy named Rika. The brilliant girl, although shy, is obsessed with doujin and fascinated by sex. Even if she's a virgin, she cannot wait to experience it in the most perverted ways. She quickly fills up the application to join the club and thus be close to Kodaka, who she has a serious crush on after he took her to the infirmary after passing out in her lab. In her first day in the club, she brings a doujin with her, a mecha story referencing both Evangelion and Gundam. What follows is probably one of the most graphic and accurate depictions of Evangelion outside Evangelion, only understandable by the twisted mind of a true EVA fan.
Messed up.
You do not have to understand it.
And with that, I close this list of 5 Evangelion references in random anime. Of course, there is a ton of other animes that references Anno's work in many ways, which is not limited only to anime, but also to other types of presentations. His work undeniably influenced many and shaped the mind of many more. So next time you watch your favorite story, look out for these Easter eggs as they might appear in places you can't even thought. they could. So, what do you think? Did you experience any of these references on your own? Do you have your own EVA moment outside EVA? Which Evangelion references that you have experienced is the one that shocked you the most? Let me know in the comment section down below, like the video if you did, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, join the Discord for free. Guys, thank you all so much for watching, and as always I wish you all a wonderful day.